Hello, this is B Maniwaiza and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be discussing a topic that almost each one of us can relate to. We're coming to the general elections come 2021 on 14th January. And what is on the mouth of each person is, are we going to gain from this election? Either you're going to vote the person that you want to go and speak for you in parliament, or someone who is going to represent you in government, the government that you want to be in power. But some are saying, what are we going to earn in form of money? Is it right for you to expect money when you're going to lead people? Or is it right for you as a person who is going to vote to expect money from your leaders? A topic we are discussing today, money and politics. Let's listen to former MP of Mbarara municipality. Let him give us his experience about money and politics, what he was able to learn, the mistakes he made, and his advice to his fellow politicians.
I am a medical doctor, and I am now the chairperson of the National Drug Authority of Uganda, and I was a member of parliament between 2011 and 2016, representing the people of Mbarara municipality, for purposes of wanting to be heard very well. And this is the COVID era, but good enough people interviewing me are very far from me. I beg to remove this mask so that I can easily be heard. I am one of those MPs that joined the parliament by God's grace without dates, because I did my campaigns within my means, and some of my opponents would say I was a poor person, a doctor with a very little amount of money, but I knew what I was doing. How did I manage my campaigns in Mbarara? One, I happened to be having a clinic in Mbarara town, and I would get money on a daily basis. The arrangement was, and God told me that I should, if I make 1 million in a day, I have workers to pay, and I've got drugs to clear, because you get the drugs from the pharmacies, and you have utilities to pay for, like electricity and water. So what I did is, I got half of the money that I was getting on a daily basis when I was working in my private clinic, took it into politics. I got half of the money, I put it in the bank. At the end of the month, I had my money to pay my workers, and the money to clear debts of drugs, and the money to pay for utilities. Then half of the money, the voters ate it. And by the way, nobody should say that you can run a campaign without spending money, because number one, you need a microphone. Number two, you have to have a car. Number three, you must put in fuel. Number four, you have mobilizers. You can't cause people to keep moving every day, looking for votes for you here and there, your coordinators, and you don't give them lunch. Lunch is inevitable. It's not a bribe, but you have to facilitate them to move. Now, when I went to parliament, by God's grace, and my friends in Mbarara, whom I love so much, a very big number of my friends in Mbarara, and these are businessmen, and some of them are the people whom I used to train in hospital. And remember, I was a teacher at the university before I even went into private business and later on politics. They would donate some money to me, and I would do this money. So, by God's grace, once again, I went to parliament without any dates. Now, when I went to parliament, I knew that once you step in parliament, there's a possibility for you to be voted out. You cannot say that I've gone to parliament to die from there. No way. Because you cannot know the attitude of the fellows that have voted for you, what their attitude is going to be after 5 years. Because things can change. Now, half of the money I was getting from parliament, I would use it for personal development. Half of it, I would use it to run my constituency. Remember, in a constituency, you have your churches, because I believe in God, and I have a conviction that if I'm a parliamentarian, you go there by the grace of God. So I put my money in churches. And by the way, when I talk about churches, I talk about all of them. Two, you have to go to the mosques, because there are so many Muslims who vote for you too. They also need your help as they develop their things in their faith. Then you have groups of women. Then you have groups of children. Then you have groups of other people. Then you have weddings. You have baptisms. You have fundraisings everywhere. So half of the money, I said, I must make sure this money goes back to the people because you must remain relevant. Remember that again, some of that money, you have to get fuel to go to the constituency. You have to have meetings. You have political meetings. You have other meetings. You have to spend some money. Now, when you are a candidate, there are two chances. You can either lose an election or you can win it. Yes? Or they can even rig you out because anything can happen in elections. It's not a very smooth ride as people normally may think. And by the way, even what you think about yourself might be totally different from what people think about you. You may think you are very powerful, but the people don't like you. You may even think that I've got the money, but people don't want this money and don't vote for you. Some other person, even without money, may come and even convince all of them and they can't give them a sympathy vote. You can have the money and a poor person comes and says, I am a poor person. I want to go to parliament, help me. When I go there, I will eat with you. People can vote for that guy. My advice to parliamentarians and anybody vying to go to parliament, please do not sell houses and don't sell land and don't sell things that you're going to parliament because you may not go there. Something can go wrong. Or if you go there and you spend there 5 years and you have not done anything for yourself, when you leave, you will not convince anybody that, I was in the parliament, but because I was very hardworking, I gave all my money to my voters and I came out with empty hands with gray hair. To me, it is actually, if people are not very careful, politics can cause poverty in a rich man or a rich woman's house. That one, I can tell you. Me, one of the reasons why I'm thankful to God is that God gave me a vision in my political path. And I left parliament with my head high because I never had any loans. I don't want to tell anybody I don't have loans, no. If I have a loan now, it is for my personal development and it is working. For the voters out there, really do not squeeze these MPs up to the wall, because if you remove all money from them and they go to parliament, they will not work for you because they will be too stressed and some of them will die even before they do what they do the work they're supposed to be doing. I thank you very much. We must make sure that we have a corruption-free election without causing people to be poor because they want to go to parliament. I thank you very much.
Okay, welcome back from that interesting experience. Oh my God. To any politician out there, have you seen how systematic this gentleman was? Now, I really like the way Dr. Bitecherezo looked at his income realistically and said that, you know what, I am earning this much, I will put back this much into my business and invest this part of my profits into my political career. So he didn't end up entering into indebtedness. This is part of what we are calling that systematic planning, not to go with the flow. Everyone is making noise on this, people are paying for this, others are on TV, others on radio. What can your budget meet at that particular time, and how can you stick to your budget?
Even
is a key question.
After being elected, that's where most of the problems come in. You go to the village, you have to educate Alex, you have to attend all the values, bring all the money. It's very good to be a people person, but allocate a certain amount of money meant for that.
Like they say, if you to invest in any risk, sometimes you know how much you can lose in case something goes wrong. So he's sure that whatever happens, whether I go through or not, my business will not be affected by me joining politics. He's sure that his workers are sorted. He's not going to have issues where the nurses, the doctors are failing to treat people because they were not paid. And then one more thing is that you shouldn't really borrow to invest in politics. You're going to serve the people. And then if you have all these big expectations, and it's a two-way, the same goes back to the electorates. People who are going to vote their leaders. What do you expect from someone who is going to serve you? The moment they buy your vote, then definitely, when they get to parliament, they are going to do the same. But again, going back to the leaders, one thing that I learned from having a conversation with him was that the moment you hold power, the moment you get elected, start planning for your exit. Start planning for that time when you will be without power. Share with us your experience during this elective season. on our social media platforms. That's on Facebook, on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the bell to be able to get all the other episodes and notifications whenever we upload new episodes for you. See you next time. Be money wiser.